Hi, welcome to another devlog for AAA Simulator. Hopefully the sound is better this time. I feel like the sound quality was terrible in my last video, so I'm really hoping to improve it. That's what this is about, just getting a little bit better every day. Learning where to position the mic and messing with EQ are all part of the process of learning how to make and publish an indie game. They help me get the word out about my game through streams and videos, so I want to include them because I want to cover all the sausage making in these devlogs. In the last video, I promised to look at the UI after a few hours of work, but first I'd like to tell you how I got there. Over the past couple of weeks, I've established a few things. First, since my game is making fun of AAA studios, I should develop an aesthetic based on their, let's say, unique tastes. Second, I'm going with vector art. Pixel art is too wholesome and adorable, and I already know I can learn how to make clear vector art. So I started off with a little more research. I found out that there's a site called Game UI Database where you can search for different kinds of UI elements. I started with the broad category of 2D art and quickly found the key to all of this. A good UI should tell the story. It seems obvious when I put it into words, but it's true. The Ninja Games UI is cartoony yet action-packed. The extra life icons seem to be shurikens, and there's a big timer prominently displayed. The Sci-Fi Mech Games UI is full of electric futurism and precision with its small square fonts. I also looked at itch.io's vector art asset packs for inspiration. I noticed another trend. Vector art is most suited to things that are either cartoony or sci-fi. Still, there are some interesting things that stick out. Simple, clean shapes, bars and graphs that remind of that cold corporate world I'm trying to replicate. Because the story I'm trying to tell is about the financial follies of AAA game studios. Like in my last video, I turned once again to their websites for inspiration. I saw clean shapes with simple yet juicy hover animations. I saw worlds within squares. These are the kinds of elements I need. Sleek and simple, professional yet cool. I also want worlds within frames. A fancy graph in one box, a boardroom with shareholders in another, and in the background, an empire. AAA Simulator is going to be a tycoon game after all. And it's become a standard of the genre to display the breadth of the player's domain in the center of the screen, while the complicated UI takes place in the frame of the foreground. In this case, the background could be the studio with all its cool equipment and employees working away. But I don't want to emphasize the employees as much as something like Game Dev Tycoon, where they all sit at their computers with friendly cartoon faces and work. No, I want the employees to borrow from another tycoon game tradition, where the little customers lack personal details and they're all procedurally generated little people. Just symbols of capital walking around, so unimportant that you might let the lions loose on them just for fun. In my head design, I'm thinking of having them just pop out of existence en masse, with juicy snapping sounds every time you adjust the slider to fire them. Little fading emojis could emit from them, telling a microscopic story about what they were thinking as they were fired. Their finances, their family, just to drive the message home in a funny, on-the-nose way. Anyway, I digress. This whole train of thought made me look to the physical studios themselves for inspiration. Again, I saw simple, sleek, minimalist colors and sharp angles. That is, except for the designs that were self-glorifying monuments to the companies. This kind of thing could be good if I decided to make fun of these studios' maximalist aesthetics in the 90s and 2000s. And I do eventually want to make different skins for the UI mocking the different AAA studios, but for now that's out of scope. I'm one person, so I need to focus on one design for now. Over the past week I had gone from my prototype UI, which is purely placeholder, to something with white boxes and curved corners. It was also tilted, which was inspiration from a racing game I found somewhere on Game UI Database. The UI of that game was all tilted forward to embody speed. Similarly, I want to find a way to embody line goes up, so I tried to give everything the tilt of a line graph going up. The curved corners were the first thing to go. They're just too friendly, and they're a key part of the cartoony aesthetic I want to avoid. This is satire, not goofy fun. It's kind of like Papers, Please, but more funny and less bleak. So, sharp corners. But I think white is just not working. Something I noticed from AAA websites is that they had subtly coordinated color schemes. But the blank white of modern web pages just doesn't give me many ways to display all the information I want. That gave me one last idea for inspiration. Financial apps. But looking through the UIs of financial apps, I noticed yet another interesting thing. This one was a little more insidious. A lot of these apps have friendly colors, and their graphs are actually smoothed out to give the customer a sense of security. I already established that I need sharp corners. What I needed was not a friendly, wholesome financial app, but a badass one for gamers. I needed Robinhood. And it didn't disappoint. The graphs had sharp corners, and the dark mode had a color scheme that screamed about cool corporate finances, all while maintaining a sleek aesthetic. I set about trying the new colors, and things started to look a lot better. I also had to get rid of the creepy face knob on the employee slider. I fiddled with trying to make a different style, but things went horribly wrong. Plus, I already established that I want little faceless people for this game in the background, so displaying employee faces on the slider is out. That's what iteration is all about, establishing what works and what doesn't in the most objective way possible, all while still maintaining the art of the whole thing. And now, here's the before and after you were waiting for. This is the prototype, and this is what I've done so far. It still doesn't look amazing. I need to finalize my ideas for a hype bar, clock, and other features. There's plenty of fine-tuning to do, plenty of iteration, but there's visible progress, and that's satisfying. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll make some more progress and show it to you soon. And the next video will be better, and the next one after that. This is how we make art, people, so get out there and make.